Morris Law doesn't just have offices in South Carolina. We live here. We drive the same roads, we eat at the same restaurants, and we're in your community. We're committed to helping our neighbors when they need it most. Get a local law firm that knows your streets and has real experience standing up for the people of South Carolina. For us, it's bigger than billboards and catchy slogans. It's about you. Hurt? Get Morris. Call us now and let us help you.
Welcome into Springsbrook Stadium. This is Coastal Carolina Baseball's First Pitch Live, presented by Morris Law for the Coastal vs. South Alabama series. I'm Haley Nitchie alongside Sam Wiederhaft and Kyle Rush. Guys, it's Easter weekend here at the Palace, Coastal South Alabama series. Sam, let's start with you. Vibes heading into this weekend?
Yeah, a little bit of an earlier start to this series, playing on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday instead of a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But vibes couldn't be higher if you're the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina, right? 8 consecutive wins, the 4th longest winning streak in the country right now. 31 consecutive Sun Belt wins going back to last year. It's hard to believe it's almost been a calendar year since Coastal has fallen in a conference matchup. So the Chanticleers, they're feeling good. They're winning games in all sorts of different ways, taking down some top opponents, and feeling good coming into this series against a red-hot South Alabama team.
Small ball has turned into schnall ball in this 8-game winning streak, and it's been a big part of how they've done and just finding different ways, as Sam was alluding to. And when you do that, that's built confidence. It's a very confident group, but South Alabama is too. They've won 2 series in a row.
Let's take a look at the press conference from yesterday.
I just pitched with a lot of confidence. I got to be one of the guys for this team with some of the injuries we've had. Obviously, had a couple rough outings at the beginning of the year, just kind of pushing those behind, learning from them, and then just attacking forward. Haven't really made any adjustments, just kind of continuing with the process that we've been working on. And I'm seeing the results now from that process that we've been going through. Obviously, losing 2 guys at the beginning, those 3 guys, Lynch included, Hayden and Fluky at the beginning of the year. But it allows the young guys to kind of get their feet underneath themselves, throwing innings that they may have not thrown at the beginning of the year. And then, like I said, when you get those guys back, now you have the freshmen that have pitched, had that experience, and I feel like it just makes our pitching staff as a whole so much more dynamic and better. Obviously, we can't wait to have those 2 back as well.
I mean, as a team, we're just trying to get our pitch and do damage with it as much as possible. So the main goal when we get up to the plate from this point forward is get our pitch, do as much damage as possible, and just get our job done. We're just relentless. We're never going to give up. We're always going to want to win, and we're never going to just lay down and let you just pummel over us. We're always going to be relentless and come back.
Say we're just a bunch of relentless guys. Obviously, we've had a bunch of games this year where, especially in the last 2 weeks, where a lot of teams might have just rolled over and lost. Going back to that Clemson game, 9-3 in the 7th. Most teams are probably just going to roll over and take their loss midweek. Who cares? But we're a bunch of relentless guys. We find ways to win, even if it's not the best way. But I think that's a sign of a good team when you can win baseball games even though you don't play your best. And that's what we've been doing the last eight games we've had that winning streak.
Yeah, real excited, but this game will humble you really quickly, and every game matters at this point. And, obviously we've done a great job. We're 21-7, we're 9-0 in the league, but this game will humble you quickly. So you don't have a lot of time to enjoy it. And, it's so important that every day you're dominating, and today's practice is really important for us to get back to doing all the little things well, because again, this South Alabama team is very talented and will be one of the best pitching staffs that we've seen all year. I think the identity is this team's tough. It's faced a lot of adversity. It's tough. There's no panic. They're very confident, and that's a really positive characteristic to have, and really proud of the team for handling the business the way that they have, especially with the adversity that we've faced. They're not pointing fingers, they're not blaming others, they're embracing their opportunities.
Welcome back into First Pitch Live. Kyle, let's start with you. Darren Horn has been a huge piece to this Coastal's pitching staff. Just talk about his importance that he's had on the team this season. It's
been so much confidence that he just exudes when he walks out of the bullpen. He looks like a guy that's about to have a good outing. And lately he's been really solid of late, but he's really filled a key void with starters not pitching as many innings due to injuries. He's come in, led that bullpen. It's been very solid, and it's consistently given Coastal Carolina chances to rack up wins.
Sam, the guys talk about the identity of this team being relentless. Just talk about how we've seen that relentlessness so far this season.
Yeah, you heard Darren and Bryce echo that, along with Kevin Schnall, just talk about the identity of the team being toughness and how proud he is of the way that they bounced back. They could have very easily had a sky is falling mentality when all the injuries happened earlier part in the year, and now you're sitting at 9-0 in Sun Belt play in a really, really good spot and getting closer to the point where Cam Flukie could be coming back at the end of the month, along with possibly Hayden Johnson, Trace Mazan as well. And I love what Kevin Schnall said about it makes him feel like he's drinking 15 Red Bulls. It gets him so excited about that. But like I talked about earlier, they've won games in so many different ways. You go back to Tuesday and making it happen against the Citadel. You get a great start from Jackson Appleman in that game. They come back with a pair of runs in the 9th inning to get the win there. In this 8-game winning streak, their past 6 games, they've had to come from behind at some point. 15 comeback wins on the year. You can never count this team out of a ball game. The lineup has just been completely resilient all year long.
To take a look at the matchup, we have our next segment, Prep with Pep, with our Director of Analytics, Matt Pepin. Pep, we got a new location for Prep with Pep today, weekend series against South Alabama. Let's start with them. Where are they going to find success this weekend?
Yeah, so their pitching staff's had a heck of a year so far. A ton of strikes. They're second in the country in fastball strike percentage, 4th overall. That's both the starters and the bullpen. They've got an experienced rotation, so they've really found their success on the mound. They got a few guys that are hitting well, some guys with power, some guys that can do different things, but it's a pretty straightforward team. They don't do a ton of bunting, ton of running, so we're just gonna need to pick our spots.
Let's look at the Shants. Where are they going to find success this weekend?
Yeah, so obviously we want to get a good length out of our starting pitchers and have our bullpen to continue to do what they've done, especially yesterday at the Citadel, and kind of build off that. And then offensively, we want to take those strikes that they're throwing us and hit them and not expand the zone, chase, and do the small things that we've done great all year, like the bunting and the running.
Thanks, Pep. Sam, let's start with you. Looking at that South Alabama team, talk about their power at the plate and how they're going to use that this weekend.
Yeah, they can swing it. They're in the top half of the Sun Belt as far as home runs this year, and we'll talk about them a little bit later. It's one of your two's pick to click. I don't know which one it is, but you'll talk about Blake Guerin, right? He leads the Sun Belt right now with 10 home runs, 5 of those coming in Sun Belt play. A really dangerous threat at the top of the order. They've got contact skills at the top of the order as well. But Coastal on the pitching side has done a really good job of avoiding that and just navigating through these pretty tough lineups that South Alabama is going to present.
Kyle, let's look at Coastal. Talk about how important it's going to be to get length out of Luke Jones today.
It is, and because Luke Jones, and Schnall put it in, I thought, an interesting way. He said he got through 5 innings against James Madison, and that was a big part of that. Yes, he got through it, but he wasn't himself and struggled a little bit early in the Marshall game. And in such a tone-setting game, all the first games of these 3-game series, they're tone setters for the rest of the series. They need Luke Jones to give them length to set the tone for the rest of the staff.
All right, for our fun segment today, we are going to be talking about our favorite uni matchups, Coastal specific against another team. I'm going to go first. This past Tuesday, Coastal versus the Citadel. I mean, I'm a fan of all shades of blue, specifically teal, but all shades of blue. I liked their pinstripes, and I liked our teal Tuesday jerseys. How about you guys?
I got a thing on this one because we've had a few different unique uniform combos that have come here to Conway. I think about ECU with those powder purples that seem to be a fan favorite, almost the color of your shirt, Kyle. I was a fan. It was a midweek loss early in the season, but when College of Charleston came here, I do like their colors. More of a burgundy and gold kind of off plays that, so they had a pretty good look. And that combined with the new Teal Tuesday jerseys for Coastal, which anytime Coastal wears teal, it's always a great scenic matchup. So let me go with Charleston for this one.
I'm with you. I'm a big fan of the teal jerseys, but we talk rivalries in college sports all the time, right? You give me the teal jerseys with the gold jerseys from Appalachian State, and you know you're in for it. And so anytime you see that, it sort of raises the temperature a little bit. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah.
All right, to close things out, we're going to be doing our picks to click. Who's going to be that guy for this weekend? Sam, you touched on mine, but for South Alabama, it's got to be Blake. He leads the team with 10 home runs, leads the Sun Belt. I think he's going to be really fun to watch against our Coastal pitching staff. And for Coastal, I've got Scott Doran. We talked to Coach earlier this season, and he said for this team to be its most effective, they have to keep Scott in the bullpen. And in the bullpen, he's been pretty dominant. Sam, how about you?
Well, let me go back to the bullpen for Coastal Carolina. Darren Horn, reigning Sun Belt pitcher of the week. The guy has been unstoppable on the mound. Sinker Haymaker slider has never looked better for him. 6 consecutive shutout outings for him, including Tuesday. He went a third of an inning against Citadel. You always like Coastal's chances when Darren Horn is out there on the bump. He had a great outing against Clemson as well and got the win in that game. For South Alabama, give me Mitchell here, who's going to be their starter for this first game of the week. Now, South Alabama is 7-0 in series opening games this year. Coastal's 5-0, so something's got to give here. But here has been extremely consistent starting these opening series games. And the piggyback off of him is going to be Jackson Shineflew, who's done a great job out of the bullpen as well. 5 of those 7 wins for them, it's been here and Shineflew. Those have been the only 2 pitchers they've used, and they've given them a great chance to start off series really strong.
South Alabama, I like Brendan Wright a lot. Not necessarily the power guy that we've talked about, but you talk about a guy that sets the tone in your offense. How about a guy that hits over 380, can steal a base for you, and on base percentage in the top 20 of all of college baseball, on base over half the time. And that sets the table for some of those big bats at the bottom of the lineup. And he's just a guy that's consistently a problem for opposing pitching staffs. If South Alabama wants to win a 3rd series in a row, he's going to be a factor. But I'll give you another bat that has plenty of power in Rex Watson for Coastal Carolina. 9 home runs in the month of March. He's sad as anybody to see it come to April, because in March he went on a tear, 9 home runs, drove in 32 RBIs. That's a season for some guys. He did it in a month, and he is playing with a lot of confidence. The happy dance is working in the on-deck circle. Whatever he's eating, I want some of it.
Kyle, I will say it's extremely hard to hit home runs when you're playing at that ballpark in Charleston, Joseph P. Riley Park, where Coastal took down the Citadel. Rex Watson's home run in that game was hit 112 off the bat, the exit velo, biggest exit, hardest hit baseball for Coastal Carolina in terms of exit velo in 2 years.
Yeah, the river effect there is real.
No doubt.
All right, you guys, Coastal versus South Alabama Easter weekend. This is a series you guys do not want to miss, so head on over to the ESPN Plus broadcast so you don't miss any of the action. We'll see you guys next time.